Hello, this is Bill Baldwin of Boulevard Realty with an update on flood maps. Please be aware that the Harris County flood maps are about to change. In fact, the way flood maps will be determined is totally new and revolutionary. Make yourself aware of the process and the timeline at MAP Next. MAP Next stands for Harris County Modeling, Assessment, and Awareness Project, the first of its kind in the nation. It's the next generation of flood mapping using new methodologies, new technology, and new data. The new maps will be released in early 2025, and thousands of homes in Harris County are expected to be added to both the 100 and 500-year floodplains. Likewise, many homes may no longer be in the 100 or 500-year floodplains. After the announcement, there will be a period of 6 to 9 months of education and input. The adoption is not likely until late 2025 at the earliest. Please keep up to date and refer to MAP Next on the Harris County Flood Control website.
HAR TV has expanded and we're now offering video services at 4 locations. Our Fort Bend branch located at 6608 Greatwood Parkway in Sugar Land. Our Montgomery County branch located at 25700 I-45 North in Spring. Our Bay Area branch located at 17225 El Camino Real in Bay Area. And our original location at HAR Central located at 3693 Southwest Freeway in Houston. All 4 locations offer all the same high quality video production that you have always experienced here at our central location. Contact us today to get your video appointment scheduled at any one of our 4 locations.
As realtors, we help our clients with all sorts of matters, including how to find available resources that may assist with the down payment. We are proud to announce that Down Payment Resource is now available on HAR.com. This will allow consumers to find out if they meet the criteria for any of the 70 different assistance programs available in the greater Houston region. Some programs are income-based, but many allow higher incomes than you may think. There are also programs specific for people in certain professions, such as police officers, firefighters, teachers, healthcare workers, and others. About 89% of all listings for sale in Houston qualify for some sort of down payment. To find out more, you may visit www.har.com/down payment and work with your realtor to make sure you have everything you need to be able to purchase the home of your dreams.
Good morning and welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Director of Social Media for HAR, and also happy Veterans Day. Today is Veterans Day, and in the greater Houston area, this is home to more than 300,000 veterans, the second to largest veteran population in the United States. And to honor our veterans this week, we are joined by CJ Johnson, who is the Houston Chapter President for VAREP. She is going to give us a better understanding of how to help your veteran clients and customers. Welcome to the program, CJ.
Good morning, Christina. Thank you.
Good morning, and I'm so glad you could be here today. We've had you on the program before. We're a lucky coincidence that this Veterans Day fell on a Monday, and we're getting to celebrate on the day with you. And of course, thank you for your service. You're going to tell us a little bit about yourself, but I'd like to say that right from the start. Thank you for your service, and of course, thank you for your time today. Before we get into some of the questions I have for you, and I'm sure some of the questions our audience are going to have for you, tell us a little bit about yourself, CJ, who you are and what you do.
Thank you. And before I get started, I do want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I am Carlene Johnson. I answer to CJ. I am an Air Force veteran, Desert Storm combat veteran, and I am a realtor, certified divorce real estate expert, and the current chapter president, Houston chapter president of VAREP.
Very good. Thank you so much. Now, VAREP it stands for those who don't know, it stands for the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. Again, you just told us about your experience a little bit in the Air Force, but and you're a realtor, but what made you decide to get involved with VAREP and then subsequently move into a leadership position, now serving as a chapter president?
Thank you. Honestly, I had been in the industry for about 4 or 5 years before I even was introduced to the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. I did not know it existed, etc. And when I did find out it existed, some of the information that I gained, I myself had had misconceptions about the VA loan. And when I realized that, there was wrong information being dispersed, I decided that for me, education is key for me. That's one of the things that I'm very passionate about. And so it was a no-brainer that VAREP Houston was something that I needed to be a part of. And then at the time it was relaunching. And so I had the opportunity to be a part of the board. And I started out as membership director. And right before COVID. And so COVID put a little kind of halted some things, and another opportunity after COVID kind of calmed down, etc. An opportunity arose for me to be a part of closer to the primary leadership. And my mindset was, in about 3 or 4 years, I think I could see myself as chapter president. Well, that turned out to be 2 or 3 months. And so I have been board chair for going on 4 years, but it has been very rewarding for me because when, especially my real estate colleagues, when we have conversations and the clarity, when I share my experience where they share their beliefs, and providing the clarity has been very rewarding. And so VAREP Houston is something that is very near and dear to me, that as long as I'm in real estate, I'll be a part of this organization.
Absolutely. Well, you know all too well that sometimes when you're called to serve, that service starts a lot sooner than sometimes you expect, but I'm glad that you stuck with it and you're doing such great work that we'll talk about today. So tell us a little bit about VAREP itself. What are the goals of VAREP and what kind of work do you do?
Okay. The Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals is a national organization. It is the only national nonprofit that is committed to VA loan education. We locally in all our chapters, we provide education with regard to the VA loan so that real estate professionals become proficient with the updated and accurate information so that subsequently the service members and veterans in our communities are able to obtain that information. But in addition, we also advocate for many of for example, a lot of the changes that have been implemented nationally. VAREP was an intricate part of that. Nationally, once a year, we physically go to Washington, D.C. and lobby for a lot of different there are a lot of oh my goodness, bills, etc. that we lobby for. We currently do have one in the House and Senate where we are asking to have, because currently for disclosures, the disclosures consumer receives a summary of the FHA loan and the conventional loan, But for veterans, the VA loan is not on there as to the costs associated with it. And unfortunately, because veterans are not able to see the difference and the benefits of the VA loan, then sometimes they choose to use FHA or conventional. And so we're lobbying to include the VA loan summary on the disclosures so veterans are able to make informed decisions.
Absolutely.
So those are some of the things that we do, but we also participate in veteran resource fairs. We love to collaborate, especially here in Houston. We love to collaborate with other organizations, etc. Anything that we can do, because every real estate professional either knows a veteran or is related to a veteran. Sometimes you don't even realize that you are a client that you served was a veteran because they may not have disclosed that information. So our goal is to get the information out there to any and everyone so that the military and veteran community can be served in the manner in which they deserve and use the benefit that they earned.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad you explained that advocacy, because I think that's a part of it that people may not think about. As far as programming, what type of programs does VAREP offer?
We do there is a military and veteran housing certification that can be obtained only through the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. And it is, I know some people may be aware of the MRP, Military Relocation Professional. Well, the MVHC class is MRP on steroids. Not advocating for steroids, but just giving context that because it goes in depth, it addresses just about everything that has to do with the VA loan, its origination, the qualifications, all of it. It's an 8-hour class, but that certification is through VAREP nationally only. In addition, we're going to, there's a duty to serve that is a condensed version specifically for realtors that was just introduced in October, that we're going to be bringing to Houston also. It's a 3-hour CE course, which is like a summary, because 8 hours is a long time. And some people are like, I can't. So those are things that we do in addition to the opportunity for our members to participate in different resource fairs, different things that happen in the community. The mayor's office of military and veteran affairs reaches out to us for us to participate when certain things happen in the city of Houston. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of programs that we participate in here locally at VAREP.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And I mean, we mentioned the number over 300,000 in the Houston area, and that population is just growing. I can't think of a reason not to maybe take that 8 hours and get some education, but that's wonderful. There's a shortened 3-hour version that people can look to as well to get better educated about how to help their clients and customers that are veterans. What are maybe some concerns that veterans themselves have about purchasing a home?
Thank you for that question. And I think it's to put in perspective for real estate professionals to understand that there are veterans that don't realize that they're veterans. They do not identify as veterans. So, and then some of them may think I don't qualify for a VA loan because I did not serve in an area of conflict, or because I only served in the Guard or the Reserves. I have to have a 720 credit score. Just basic things. There are some that think that they just, for example, for me, I've been a veteran a long time, but I did not start identifying as a veteran until about 15 years ago. And the reasoning behind that is because I did not fit the picture of a veteran in any way. And so, it's an education thing, and what I recommend for anyone, because if I ask the question, what does a veteran look like? There is no specific, identifying quality for a veteran. And so any conversation you have with a potential client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, ask the question, did you serve? Don't ask, are you a veteran? Because once again, some of them will say, no, I'm not a veteran. But start it out with, did you serve? And that opens up the conversation to explore whether or not they qualify for that VA loan benefit.
That's an excellent question to ask just right off the top. As far as purchasing homes, though, are there concerns that veterans have, whether they're active or not active when it comes to purchasing a home?
Yes, there are some veterans that feel that if they're active, then they don't qualify for the VA loan, which if they've served a certain amount of time, whether in the Guard or active duty, then there are criteria that can be met where they will qualify for the VA loan. But also one of the misconceptions is among the military and veteran community is when it said that there's no down payment. Some may not understand that down payment is one thing, closing costs is another. And
Right.
so to be able to articulate that and explain that with the explanation that the potential for you truly not to have to go to the closing table with anything, the potential is there, but to provide the clarity, because you'll get pushback. I've gotten pushback from veterans that are just like, well, no, I'm not supposed to have to bring anything. And so just things like that. But some of the concerns are, and it goes hand in hand with real estate professionals, because there are veterans that have purchased homes, but they used a different type of loan. So they think, okay, it's going to be too hard to use my VA loan. The seller is not going to accept my offer, so I might as well go with another one. And once again, that comes back to real estate professionals being advocates on behalf of the veteran, but also education, because a lot of the information that's out there is outdated. So updating yourself and being educated so that we can educate the military and veteran community is key.
Very good. Let's switch it now to the realtor side. Obviously, we've already kind of alluded to some misconceptions here, but what are some maybe common misconceptions that you see within the industry, whether it be, from realtors, from lenders, from title company people? What are some misconceptions that you see around assisting veteran clients and customers?
First and foremost, that the VA loan is just too hard. It's going to take forever. One of the main things is realtors will say, my seller does not want to accept a VA loan. Well, in the profession, we know that in a lot of instances, our sellers are going by the information that we relay to them. And so to be able to provide updated and accurate information regarding the VA loan, misconception that the wood destroying insect inspection is required and the seller has to pay for that. All of these things that the seller is required to pay for too many things. A lot of things have changed in the industry, just like everything else has changed. The requirements have changed. And so to educate yourself as to the changes that have taken place with regard to the VA loan. There's also the appraisal. Well, the appraisal is going to come back low, etc. The basic requirements that a VA appraiser looks for is safe, sound, and sanitary. They're not going to, when they go to look at a property, and that's something that most lenders are looking for. So just be mindful, okay, for the wood destroying insect, there are certain things that you as the realtor can do to just, remedy the wood destroying insect conducive conditions. So once again, it goes back to realtors obtaining the education as to just simple things that make a difference. We have mortgage lenders that are, and there's a word I'm going to use, proficient in VA loans, that can close VA loans in 21 days. So it's not any harder. The VA loan, it's hard. It's the easiest loan product for a buyer to qualify for. So it's just, once again, educate yourself, attend a VA loan class. And I have attended some VA loan classes that have been where some incorrect information has been dispersed, but it's a case of we just have to be vigilant, attend maybe multiple classes. Of course, VAREP Houston, we are sticklers about making sure that any class that we that we're promoting, etc., is a class that's going to provide updated and accurate information regarding the VA loan.
Very good. Well, I want to address quickly some comments that have come in. If you have questions for CJ, please type those in. But we've got a lot of comments, a lot of chatter going on. First of all, people wishing everyone a happy Veterans Day and thanking veterans for their service, especially you. Got some specific shout outs for you. A couple comments that came through. Caesar said new construction is extremely veteran friendly, low rates and additional incentives. So great tip there. Mark said, tell him, CJ, not all VA lenders are equal. Yeah. And then to that point, Sherry said she got one closed in 11 days. So there's something excellent there. Another comment here, Catherine said, another misconception is understanding that the VA guarantees the loan, but the veteran must still qualify for a VA loan through a VA lender. So there's a comment there. I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Well, yes, the VA lender, and that's the thing, when I say a lender that's proficient in VA loan, there are some lenders that if you ask the question, and this is for realtors and that they can convey to their clients, if you ask a mortgage lender, do you do VA loans? And they say, yes, I've done a VA loan. If they are, and the follow-up question can be, when do you pull the COE? Now, a COE, those proficient in VA loans, realtors, and lenders, is certificate of eligibility. But that is the first thing that is supposed to be pulled, because that dictates whether the veteran qualifies for the VA loan and any discounts they may qualify for. So once again, it has to be a VA proficient lender. And so it's once again, establish relationships. You have to establish relationships with mortgage lenders that are proficient in VA loans, and ask the question, how long does it take for you to close a VA loan? If they say 30 to 45 days, that's not proficient. That's not a proficient lender. You see, the 11-day close, that's a proficient lender, because for the appraisal, there's a certain amount of time that the VA appraiser has, but a proficient lender knows how to structure what they're doing, their process, to ensure that it comes back quickly. So just different things like that are, ways to vet the lender to ensure that they are truly proficient in VA loans.
Very good. And we'll talk a little bit. There was actually a question that said, where do I sign up? So we'll talk a little bit about how to sign up and get involved with VA Rep. But I think one of the benefits that you might mention is, because there are a lot of lenders that are involved with VA Rep that are proficient, as you're saying. So that's a great benefit that we can talk about in just a little bit. But some great comments coming in that want to just touch on briefly. There was another comment that said, Mark said, from negotiating / making an offer perspective, some listing agents can thwart the seller's mindset by regarding a VA loan. So he's kind of agreeing with what you were saying a little bit earlier.
Yes, and with that, thank you, Mark, for that. With that, in one of the main ways that we encourage buyer agents is if your client, your veteran client, sees a property that it does not, VA loan is not one of the types of financing that they will accept, pick up the phone and call that listing agent and ask the listing agent, can you tell me, because the seller's disclosure should disclose if there's anything wrong with the property. And if you see that seller's disclosure, there's nothing alarming on it. You ask that listing agent, why, can you tell me why the VA loan is not an option? And if they say, because my seller will not accept a VA loan, once again, that's an opportunity for you to educate them to say, is it that they had a bad experience? And in some instances, it's the listing agent that had a bad experience. But it's an education opportunity to advocate on behalf of the veteran, because what it boils down to, it's thank you for your service, but you can't buy my house. Really? So it's a lack of education and an opportunity to educate. And also, one of the things, when you have a mortgage lender that is proficient in VA loans, the buyer's agent can reach out to that listing agent, but also that VA lender. That lender can reach out to the listing agent and say, I have a well-qualified buyer. I can reassure you that this is something that's going to close, and this is the timeline, etc. So we have to get to the point where we advocate on behalf of our VA buyers. It's something that's necessary in our industry, and that's what VAREP is all about.
Excellent. A couple more comments, and again, if you have any questions for CJ, type them in. We'll get to as many as we can. Diane just made a comment. Many folks don't know that you can close a VA loan with DPA in order to cover most of those closing costs. She said, I've surprised many of those who have served with that wonderful info. So great.
Yes, that's
great there.
Correct. Once again, that's that where, yes, the misconception that they think, oh, I shouldn't have to come with any money, but there you go. Those are options that are available for the veteran where they do, but you want them to have a realistic expectations just in case.
Very good. And then one more comment. I do see another question that we'll get to in just a little bit, but another comment here from Angela just said, thank you for the great info. I'm currently working with a vet and his wife. So this will certainly come in handy as you're doing so. So we just talked about some misconceptions. We talked about concerns veterans may have about purchasing a home. With all of that in mind, what do you suggest to a realtor that's working with a veteran that's wanting to purchase a home? First steps. Now, I know you said, did you serve is maybe the first question we should ask, right? But what other tips or suggestions do you have?
First and foremost, making sure that certificate of eligibility is pulled by the lender from the beginning, because that determines whether or not that veteran qualifies for the VA loan. And then make sure that you set realistic expectations with the veteran to ensure that, just like you would do for any buyer, making sure that they do everything that needs to be done, submit all the documents that are required in a timely manner. Also, for some veterans, and I'm saying this because I'm going through this right now, is that there may be some challenges during the process, and you may need to reassure the veterans in some ways, because there are concerns in situations sometimes, but please to be mindful that there may be some underlying issues, but have patience with the veteran. Some of us are just give me the facts. And then there are others that are like, okay, well, why? And, Some are just like, okay, whatever. But just be mindful of it. Also, another thing is be a resource for the veterans. Some veterans, the transition from military life to civilian life is hard. We're coming from structure to civilian life. And so be a resource for other veteran groups, veteran organizations. The fact that stay on your veteran. If you're a veteran, if you shows that your veteran has a disability rating, ensure that when they close on that home, that once they get their ID, their updated identification, that they file for their, if they're 100% disabled, that they file for their this age. Sorry. That they file for their exemption, their homestead exemption, because if they're 100% disabled, they are exempt from paying property taxes. And so they file that immediately after obtaining their new, but also there's the Houston Veterans Chamber of Commerce, that they have a veteran-owned business map that if veterans want to find like-minded individuals or patronize veteran-owned businesses, it's not just a case of, okay, let me just put them in the house, let them use their VA loan. Try to be a resource for veteran-focused resources that they're able to use in different ways. Veteran resource fairs, attend veteran resource fairs so you know the benefits that are available for the veterans and you can share that information.
Excellent suggestions. Thank you so much. Few other questions that came in. Hina, great question here from Hina. What is considered as alarming on a seller's disclosure for not to work with a VA loan?
Safe, sound, and sanitary is the basic criteria for when the appraiser comes out. And so if the property has like a broken, like if the property has stairs and there's no rail or the handrail going up the stairs is not present, or it's in disrepair, that is a concern that a VA appraiser is going to note, because once again, the goal is to have the veteran go into a home that is safe, sound, and sanitary. And for example, like if the roof, if there's indications of things that are obvious to the naked eye that is wrong with the property, a VA appraiser in most instances is going to point that out, because that is what specifically the VA, the appraisers that do VA loans specifically, they are required to look for those things and make a note of it. So just, safe, sound, and sanitary is the key to, I can't, those are the two that stand out for me right now. But feel free, if you see, if you have a veteran buyer and there's a property they want to purchase and the seller's disclosure just looks kind of wonky. And there are times when the VA will make exceptions if the veteran wants to ask for that. There are ways to do that too. But once again, reach out to us, and we have VA loan. We have members in VAREP Houston that are VA loan proficient. We that are lenders, that are realtors, and so feel free to reach out to us and just ask questions, because the goal of everyone that is a VAREP Houston board member and our VAREP Houston members is to be a resource for the military and veteran community. So we're going to help you in any way we can.
Very good. Thank you so much. Another question that came in from Tracy. She was asking assumable loans, pros and cons to a vet selling.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Tracy. Okay. The VA loan is assumable by anyone. The drawback for that is if a non-veteran assumes the veteran's VA loan, then that veteran, that entitlement stays with that loan. And so that veteran is not able to, whatever entitlement is tied to that property, they're not able to use it to purchase if they want to purchase again. If the new buyer defaults on that VA loan, it does count against the veteran. But if a veteran assumes a VA loan, they are able to transfer their entitlement, basically assume the entitlement and freeze it up for the veteran seller. So it's basically making the ability. There are some veterans that they're like, I'm not going to buy another home. I don't care. Just, but it's to make an educated decision for the veteran, the seller, to make an educated decision, and for the potential buyer to be mindful of, because some of those VA assumable, the assumptions take a long time to formalize. It depends on the servicer. But just those are one of the key things, is the fact that if it's a veteran assuming the VA loan, then the veteran that's assuming can free up the entitlement from the seller. But if it's a non-veteran that's assuming that VA loan, then that entitlement goes with them, and the veteran still assumes some liability down the road if anything goes wrong.
Okay, thank you so much for clearing that up, and thank you, Tracy, for that question. We've had a couple questions come in about educational opportunities. Trish was mentioning some of the opportunities that were available before COVID. She says, but I haven't seen anything lately. So tell us, CJ, what are some upcoming educational opportunities, and how can people stay informed when there are educational opportunities that are being offered?
Okay, thank you. Trish, I am sorry that you've missed the classes that we've had. We've had Texas Veterans Land Board classes. We've had, oh my goodness, VA Loan 101, No Veteran Left Behind. And we've had them at HAR. We've had them at har.com/edu. They've been listed there. We also have them listed at VAREPHouston.org. We've had, at least this year, we've had quite a few classes. And I'm sorry that you missed them, Trish, but that's okay. 2025 is coming, and we're going to continue with our education opportunities. We do have every second Thursday of every month via Zoom. There's a demystifying VA loan list class. It's via Zoom. You can sign up at VAREPHouston.org, and it should be on har.com/edu also. And that is where we go through the 12 most common VA loan myths. And it's a live class. So any questions you have, and it's open to everyone, not just you as the real estate professional. It's open to any and everyone, and it's free of charge. Coming in 2025, we are going to have more Texas Veterans Land Board classes with Anthony Navarro, along with the demystifying VA loan myths. We're going to continue to have that the second Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. via Zoom, and VA loan education classes taught by mortgage lenders that are proficient in VA loans. And the Texas Veterans Land Board class is a 1-hour CE now. The VA Loan 101 No Veteran Left Behind class is a 2-hour CE class. And so it's VAREPHouston.org or har.com/edu. Those are where we usually list our classes. However, if you prefer to receive notification email wise, just send your email address to admin@VAREPHouston.org and let us know, and we'll add you to our distribution list for our upcoming classes. So that's another way to be able to stay in the know.
Excellent.
But even better yet, we're going to go into become a member.
Yeah.
Join VAREP Houston. That will guarantee that you receive notifications regarding our upcoming classes.
Excellent.
And this ensures that you stay in the know with regard to everything that's going on, and you stay proficient in the VA loan. So it's a win-win.
Proficient is the word of the day, I think. We before we get into how to become a VAREP member, Pamela wanted just a quick reminder. What is the name of that national certification? Again, she does have the military relo designation already.
It's MVHC. It is Military and Veteran Housing Certification. And it is, we had one class at HAR Central this year. We're working to have more in 2025. But once again, to stay in the know and to be notified when that certification is offered is just admin@VAREPHouston.org. And we will also ensure that it's listed on har.com/edu.
Very good. Just another quick comment here from Janie. I will keep my eye out for veteran-related courses. So important to keep up with changes. Absolutely. Yes. We couldn't agree more. And we have been putting all the links that CJ mentions in the comments. So be sure to take a look if you're looking for any of those resources she mentioned, as well as the email address to be added to their distribution list. So now the question that I know a few people were already asking, and you were starting to mention, how can realtors get involved with VAREP? And maybe what are some of the benefits outside of what we've already mentioned?
Well, first and foremost, VAREP.net. If you go to VAREP.net, you will see all the things that are VAREP related. And so if you would like to become a member of VAREP Houston to be able to help us advocate on behalf of military service members and veterans, you would go to become a member, click on the link underneath, and please choose Houston, Texas chapter. But in the meantime, for questions or just to have a conversation, you go to VAREPHouston.org, and all of the board members are there. Our contact information is there. Feel free to reach out to any of us to ask questions. If you have a client that you're stuck, you're trying to understand, okay, what can I do? What options are there? Reach out to us and ask us. If we can't answer the question, we're going to find someone that can answer the question for you, because like I said, that's what we're about. And for the benefits of being a part of VAREP Houston, it's you become an advocate for the military and veteran community. You're able to, now, I put this disclaimer out there. If you're looking for a organization for you to fill your database, this is not the organization for you. We are truly about serving the military and veteran community. And those of you that know is when you come from a true place of service, everything else comes after that. We welcome misconception. You do not have to be a veteran to be a part of VAREP Houston. The community we serve is the military and veteran community. And when it comes to real estate professionals, you don't have to be a realtor or a lender to be a part of VAREP Houston or any VAREP organization. As long as you have you touch a real estate transaction? And even if you've never touched a real estate transaction, you wouldn't be on here if you didn't. But we welcome anyone that is a supporter of our mission.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you so much. And again, we've put those links in the comments, CJ. You've shared some really great information, broken down some misconceptions, and given us some great advice on how to help veteran clients and customers. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience today?
Stay involved, please. Even if you do not want to become a member, just kidding. Even if you don't want to become a member, please attend the classes, because this information is beneficial to everyone. Everyone knows a veteran. Even in some instances, you don't realize you've closed a transaction with a veteran. It's just that maybe that veteran did not disclose to you that they served. So this information is beneficial to everyone. You have family members, you have friends. This is information that can be shared. Attend the classes, get to know, the information. And then once you get to know us and you start, then you're going to want to be a member. But it's okay to start off where it's just, okay, let me just get some information. We welcome anyone, any and everyone, even just a phone conversation. Feel free to reach out to us.
Wonderful. Well, CJ, again, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your service and all of the great information that you've shared with us today. We've got some thank yous coming in from our members that are watching, and we certainly all appreciate it, you taking the time today.
Thank you very much, Christina, and happy Veterans Day once again to all service members and veterans out there.
Thank you. Well, next week we do want to go ahead and announce that the election results are in, and what specifically do they mean for Houstonians and Texans alike. Next week, to break that down for us, we have Bob Stein with Rice University coming on. He's going to share, what do those election results mean, again, for us here in Houston, for us as Texans, and of course for the real estate industry. So be sure to set your calendars and tune in next Monday at 9 a.m. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.